Well, it's the last Monday and the last day of the month of September, and this morning on the show, we'll be discussing trends that went down last week of September. First on our list is the announcement made by the Nigerian Football Federation on Thursday that coach Austin Eguavoen will remain in charge of the Super Eagles as they prepare for their double-header AFCON qualifier game against Libya, which is exactly 10 days from now. Also, the Super Falcons of Nigeria now has a new boss in interim capacity in person of Justin Madugu, following the resignation of Randy Wardrum as head coach of the female national team. Then, of course, there is the NPFL and the EPL matches that were played over the weekend. I will be discussing all of that this morning. But joining me to discuss this and many more is my regular guest on the show, Osi Ugu, who is live via Zoom from England. Osi, good morning and welcome to KAKAKI Sports. Start with the Super Eagles coach. A lot of things went down during the week, this last week of September. First was the announcement of the by the NFF, which I rightly pointed out in my intro. Precisely Eguavoen, who will be taking charge of the Super Eagles as they go against Libya in exactly 10 days from now.
Eguavoen's own is quite difficult because it's just a very short span before we get another coach. And Eguavoen, having started on a very good note, having won one game, a very good game against Ibenanois, and having played another, it's better it takes over and continues for now till we get a better coach. We get a substantive coach that will, continue from where he has stopped. And getting a coach at this particular time might be dangerous because the coach might not know the fabric, the body policy of that particular team, and it might be dangerous for us going to play against the Libyans. Talk about Justin Madugu. Justin Madugu has been close to the national team, close to the Super Falcons for a while now, and being given the assistant coach role is not far-fetched. And I believe that just for the meantime, if again it does well, don't forget he was holding it down when the Wazon was not available for the Super Falcons when they played the qualifiers for the Olympics over 2 legs against the Ethiopians, and he saw how far he brought them to the point of why one of coming back and continue from where he has stopped. So he has been close to 91 for some time now, so you should know the settings of that play of the team. You should know the whereabouts of that team, and going forward, I feel, in my own opinion, I give him that particular position.
I'm looking at Nigerian national teams being headed by African coaches, and not just African coaches, Nigerian coaches. We hope that they get the results and perhaps stay in permanent capacity as coaches of the national team. But now let's move away from the Super Eagles, or the coaches rather, to the AFCON. Let's just move away from that. Let's move away from that to the AFCON qualifier proper. Nigeria is in Group D there alongside the Benin Republic, Libya, and Rwanda, and they currently top that group in that group with 4 points after 2 games. OC.
The Libyans we might look at them that we've got a better head-to-head record against them. They are a war-torn country. They are a country that they are no more. They are not the Libyans we used to know. Libyans we used to know back in the days. But we just have to be careful. This is Africa. This is African qualification. Every match is important. If you don't take your match with every iota of importance, you have your I'm more worried about playing away on the 15th. So we should be ready for the practice of this particular guys.
All right, so now that takes us to the Nigerian Premier League. Of course, matches were also played in the Nigerian Premier League, talking about the NPFL. And OC, I know you're a follower and you're a stem supporter of Enugu Rangers, but they've not been so, great this season. But you will say that that's credit to continental football. Your thoughts on the results so far? Which one did it for you in match day 4 in the NPFL?
The one that really still pains me is the one between, of course, Rangers and Remo Stars. Remo Stars, they're unbeaten so far, and they are about to start the unbeaten story right now. They had it on some years back. That same year, so I'm not good with numbers. That same year, Vendor Insurance were going unbeaten. It was between them and Remo Stars. At the point, Remo Stars were beaten, and they lost the momentum. Right now, there are 4 games unbeaten. They are 100% record to the beginning of the season is superlative. They've got 12 points at the top of the table. Lemon Stars, a team that most Nigerians really want to see win the Nigerian Professional Football League because they perfectly run football league. They are a perfect example of how football team should be run, and I want to support them. I want to see them do better. playing against my darling Rangers, defeating them. Well, it is what it is. It's football. I don't know where it is flag. So kudos to them.
All right, but let's talking about the MPFL still. Ikorodu City and Nasarawa United. Nasarawa United, for most Abuja residents, is the MPFL team is the only club right now in the MPFL that is close to Abuja. Now, Abuja residents can claim that club as their team. But Nasarawa United getting their first win for the league against another new boys, Ikorodu City. Your thoughts on Nasarawa United generally and other new boys in the team?
Are stuff that will always encourage in Nigerian football settings. It is what has been happening over here in Europe and other parts of the world where people are very, very serious with football business. So I'm happy it's happening at home. They're talking about the new boys because this city, well, some saying we are also looking at Ikuri City as another sporting Lagos who came one blazing and are back to the Nigerian National League.
Don't allow
The
Lagosians hear you.
in this situation in this situation because like Lagos is kings when it comes to professional football league coming to the doorstep. MFM was they were there at the point the head sway they did well. Then Sporting Lagos came and were like, oh, ule, uhuru, there comes another superlative team for us in Lagos. Then boom, they went back to where they belong. Because this city now
All right.
losing, well, something should be done to Lagos.
I mean, OC, I mean, it's not enough time to start calling out, who will win, who will not win. It's just match day 4. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and we hope that the Lagosians have a team they can support, not just in the one season. Now, let's move away from Nigerian Premier League to the EPL. You are in the United Kingdom. A game went down over the weekend. The last 2 games for the weekend, precisely that game between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, I beg your pardon. 3-0 at home at Old Trafford. OC, your thoughts on this quickly?
It reminded me of that same season when Ronaldo played against Liverpool and they lost 4-0, I think, and Ronaldo got a red card. The same thing almost happened, or it happened.
Hope you come back on the show next time. We'll discuss more on the Premier League, where you are actually in England watching a lot of Premier League matches. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being on the show this morning.
Thank you very much, too.
All right.